This earth is a prison planet. The moment you are born, you are indoctrinated, you are institutionalized into modern day prisons where you're forced to learn things that you would not want to learn if you had your own free will. If you had your own free will, you would not be a part of this system. Now, this makes me think, are we in a simulation? Is everything simulated? Because it's very much predetermined. Do we have free will? Because it looks like we don't have free will because we're forced to be a part of this system. No matter what, it's very much comply or die. It's very much comply or be homeless or be in a mental hospital or live in a shelter or whatever it may be. You're very much forced to comply to this system. But ever since we were children, we were indoctrinated into this institution that is like a modern day prison. Where yes, you definitely learn things that are useful like English and writing. And these are things that I use today and I'm very grateful for them. But I didn't need school to teach me this. I could have been homeschooled. I learned how to talk from my parents, from my environment. I learned how to write from my environment, from pretty much my parents, I guess you could say as well. And that's all I really needed. And everything else, well, you have basic math that you use on a day-to-day basis, and there's other things that you use on a day-to-day basis, but there's a lot of it that you just throw out and you don't use at all. And it's completely useless. So the day that we were born, we're in a hospital, and then we're in elementary school, and then it's high school, and then it's college, and then it's working a career until you're 65 years old, and then they disregard you, they get rid of you when you're old, broken, and done with life. They disregard you because you're no longer purposeful. You're no longer useful to the system, and it's actually sick. But you only get, 5 to 10 to 20 years of freedom, then you die, which is barely anything at all. And that's why it's important that you keep your freedoms for as long as possible instead of trading freedom for responsibility. And that's what is happening in our culture, in our society. We're trading freedom for responsibility of getting married, getting a career, getting a house, getting a mortgage, getting bills, getting debt. All of these responsibilities take your freedom away, and eventually you have no more freedom. You're just a slave to the system, and you're a part of this prison planet. And there really is no getting out, because when you're in debt, you have bills to pay. When you have a house, you have bills to pay. You have to pay, so you have to work. And you're very much working for survival. You're very much working so you can pay things off, and it's not a fun existence. So yes, this life is definitely a prison planet. And my advice is to keep your freedom for as long as possible. My advice is to do the things that you love. That's why I believe we don't have free will. Because if I had free will, I would not be a part of this system. I would not have a job. I would not be working. I wouldn't be doing any of that. I would be doing what I love to do. I'd be doing my purpose for the rest of my life. And that would be it. There'd be no arguments. There'd be nothing. It would be case closed and it would be finished. But that's not the case. The best tip of advice that I have for you is to do your passions, to do your hobbies. Make your life filled with things that you enjoy to do, that you love to do. And not all of us are lucky or get the luck of the draw to be able to do what we love for a living. That's very much lucky. That's very much genetics, being born into a family where you have the luck, where you have certain things at your disposal, where you're just lucky, if we could put it that way. Not all of us are lucky to do what we want to do, to be able to provide for ourselves, and that's unfortunate. And a lot of people are forced into the system because of that. A lot of things take time. Like I said, the best tasting wine takes time. For things to manifest, for things to take shape, it takes time. For example, this YouTube channel, it takes me building a community. It takes me garnering likes. It takes me building it from square one, from the base to the top. It takes time. Everything that is perfect in life, everything that is worth having in life takes time. That's why you need to spend your time on things that don't steal your time, but rather things that are rewarding and things that you would love to do every single day. So that's my tip of advice, is to do what you love and fill your life with things that you love and keep your freedoms for as long as possible. Try to make money from your passions. You never know. One could be lucrative. You could make money in millions of different ways. You just have to try. And that's the most important thing, is that you try. And if you have many talents, then you have many opportunities, you have many possibilities. And like I said, we're not all lucky to dance with the stars. We're not all born into a perfect family where there's success and there's wealth and you're just good to go. You can just live your own life and you inherit everything. We're not all born into that. Some of us have unfortunate existences, and that's just the reality of what we have been born with, of the cards that we have been dealt. And you just have to play your cards properly and do what you love. And the best tip of advice, again, is work the least you possibly can and spend it all on your passions and leave with nothing and die happy. Because there's no point in having all of these material things. There's no point in all of these, the cars and the house and all of this stuff, when you're just going to die anyways. You can't take none of it with you. You can't take none of it to the grave anyways. So it's useless. The most important thing is experiences. So planning and building in this life, it's useless because you're just going to die anyways, and it's just going to be a waste. So the most important thing that you can do is get the most amount of experiences you possibly can, is to live for experience, to live a happy life. So that's really all I have for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.